Welcome to the 2-minute overview of TD-OMS. Today we're going to take a look at branching concepts. First of all, what is branching? And then secondly, how can we use branching on a multi-person project or a big project, right? So that is what we are going to take a look at today. So traditionally, the IBM I, we develop in a shared workflow. It means that, the production environment obviously is shared, but then when we check out in development, mostly each of us have their own development library, but then when we push into UAT or test or whatever you have called it, it's get pushed back into a shared environment. And then the question is, what am I testing if I'm testing my change? Am I testing my changes? Am I testing your changes? Is the combination? So that is in general not a good way of doing the test. In addition, in the UAT and in the int environment, there's a lot of stuff that should not be there, but it is there for whatever reason. For example, it was pushed to UAT with the intention to go to int, but that never happened, and you know all the things that pollute your UAT and integration environments. So for that we have developed branching, and what branching does, it essentially makes a copy of your whole environment, except the development in the UAT environment. They are isolated and only for this change. So how does that happen? How does that work? Well, suppose this developer will check out the program. It will no longer do that in his own development library, but it will go into this isolated branch development library. And now I have this program, currently version 2. It was version 1 in production, it's now version 2. And I'm just happily coding this program. Now, some other requirement is coming in that also requires the same program to be changed. Well, that's not a problem. We can just create a branch. We check out that same program again. And two developers are now doing their coding based each on their own specification. But of course, at some point, one of the developers goes first, right? This person already says, oh, what's going on? And then eventually, this one is moving it to the integration environment. And of course, very happy. But this programmer is not so happy because they have to retrofit the changes, right? So with this branching concept, obviously, there also comes merging. Now, for the merging, we can do that automatically using our Fusion Pro module. Or if you don't have that, you can also do it manually in TD-OMS with a side-by-side comparison. Okay, so this is how the branching concept generally works. So if I want to do my testing, I put my test library in front of my production library, and I'm only testing my change, and I just disregard whatever is in the shared UAT environment, which is very nice. Okay, so let's take a look at that and see how we can apply that to a program, right? So I have my customer email program over here, and my other developer, they have been, my colleague, they have been working on this customer database. They have been adding a new field to that table. And now I want to make use of that table. So I create my task over here. I create my branch over there. And so now I'm just happily copying in the program that is being used for that, right? So for customer maintenance, I already filled it in over here. It's customer maintenance, and then here we have the display file. So let's check that out. So I do a direct connect of these two, and they will be pulled inside the XT049D location, which is associated with this task. I'm going to tell you already, this is not going to end well, because in branching, the two branches cannot see each other, right? So if I would now go into my program and make the change, and let's find USUSF1, right, for example. Next, where it fills the record. Eventually, I want to do something like this. Move, whatever. to that new field, right? So don't mind this old RPG style. This is just our example program that we use for our demos. So this would happen, and if I then save it, then obviously this would fail because, like I said earlier, branches cannot see each other, right? So the 495 branch cannot see the 494 branch. So to solve this, actually we should do this already at the beginning, but to solve this, I need to disconnect these two. And I want to reconnect them, but before I do that, I want to change my branch, or it's called a transfer path, change transfer path. I want to change it from 495, which it has now, to 494. So what I do with this, I share my two tasks are now sharing the same branch. And this time, if I pull in my two programs, and let them go into the development environment. Now I can go into my program again. And it should be somewhere here. And then I can add my new code in here. Of course, if you have already been like coding for 2 days and didn't notice this, then it might be inconvenient. But then what you can do, you can say, okay, right click, I didn't save it, right click here, compare with revision, and it will still show you the one in that other library. So sorry, mouse is not cooperating. So here's the 495, right? That is that previous one. This is the current one. Yeah, I don't mind. It's a little bit messy because I use that program all the time. But this is the 495 DS. That is the one that I try to do. And here's my my change. Right, so I can just take that change and then save it. Yes. And then I'm good to go as well. So now I can compile it. And everything is fine, right? So this is how we are, this is how we can, even if we didn't use the branching concept to begin with, but in this case, there's two tasks that are related for the same project, they can use the same branch. This is basically how we would solve that inside TDOMS. Okay, well, I hope you found that useful. So yeah, drop us a line if you have a question or a remark, and I will see you in the next video.